wouldn't the doctors maybe start be seeing this stuff too? Wouldn't they see some of this stuff too? And yes, because he had some people just like I did in the beginning that came and told him, "Oh, it's like it's horrific. It's like so many people are having problems with it, and we're like pulling it out of people, and it's like it's bad." And so this guy's hospital was like, "You better shut up." So he's like, I can't talk to you anymore. So it's the same stuff. A lot of this truth is being suppressed.
Totally.
It's friggin' crazy.
Yeah.
Uh, if we could get past that, if we could let people come out and share their information on a more massive scale, then people would be like, oh, dang, this, I need to get I need to get on something and clean it all out of me because pretty
Yeah.
much everybody's got it now, thanks
Yes.
to that vaccination. And of course, he said, and we have that, and then of course I haven't even gone into the cancer rates that are skyrocketing, 25% more than they have been in the past, and the deaths of newborns and expectant mothers because they forced the vaccination on them
Yes.
too,
Yes.
and that's always been completely illegal. You have to have a very long period of time before you subject women, pregnant women, and children to a vaccination until you've done a long-term study of the effects that come. And we're seeing right now the effects are like nothing that's ever happened in history.
Yeah.
What the hell?
It almost reminds me, Michael, of that sort of that Moses experience where the pharaohs, one of the curses that Moses talked about was that your enemies will come to rulership over you. And one of the effects of that will be that the pharaohs said that these people are getting too out of control, i.e., Israel. Now, I contend that's not the Middle East Israel that he was talking about entirely,
Right.
because he talked about your future, but he also, I would be remiss if I didn't share this. In I want to say Genesis 12 and then Genesis 15, when Yah put Abraham in a deep sleep, he showed him his future. He said, "Tell me if you can count the number of stars." Remember that? And Abraham said, "No, there's too many." So I'm imagining this where he then promised him that his offspring, his seed line will be like the sand of the earth, the sand on the beach, the stars in the heaven. He is not talking about Middle East Israel, where there's what, 2 million? So even if you think that Middle East Israel is the only place where Israel is, there's only 2 million. And all of the Western nations, as we've talked about before, Europe, Western Europe, America for sure. Imagine that he sees 350 million stars instead of 2 million, or 350 million plus the population of Western Europe and Australia and New Zealand and everywhere that ancient Israel migrated to through the Caucasus, as we've kind of chatted about. So this is what he was talking about, and Abraham was seeing his seed line around the entire earth as a blessing. And so, but the curses where he said that the beasts of the earth, in his description to the choosing the cursing, he said that the beast of the earth, the Faucis, the Gates, um, these are the beasts of the earth. That the World Health Organization, these beasts of the earth will be review of your children. And there's the vaccine that we're talking about, or there's the toxins in the food and the water and the air, and all of the ways that you pronounce like almost every week, every day. These are the attacks on us, and it's because of that we've disobeyed God.
Yep. So every show we're having, unfortunately, people that have vax uh, problems. So the way to get the vax out, we've talked about that many times. You want to go over that real quick again?
Yeah, there's a Vax detox down in the show notes. I think it's called, how to detox vaccines. So there's two ways, Greg. That's such a great question. I appreciate that. Because now it's been in for a while, it's in. So she still has to remove it externally, get it out of the shot site. The instructions for that are down below, where we show on a child the Vax locations, what product out of Michael's store to mix, how to mix it. And then internally, we've talked about that as well. But basically, we would start with the Intuostat and the Cardio NF. These sulfur-based molecules are really have a high affinity for a ion exchange. So they're exchanging toxins, but at the same time, they're beginning to dissolve the biofilm, which I believe is the primary
Yeah.
delivery mechanism for all the toxins, the plasmids, the graphene, everything they put in it. So that's where I would start. And then for like respiratory issues, the Intuitive Ultralife is like, there's nothing like it. Has like 500 bioflavonoids that really help the whole cardiopulmonary tract, super anti-inflammatory. They're just good for every cell in the body, but we really target them for cardiopulmonary in this particular instance. That's a good start. That's where I would start. And of course, everyone on earth should be using the Intuitive Ultra Cleanse Clay, because that will also bind to any of these ingredients that are in the shot. The thimerosal, the DNA, the fragments, anything that's foreign to your body that's not supposed to be there, it will bind because it has an opposite polar charge. It has a negative polarity, and they'll bind to the toxins, which all have the opposing polarity. So it'll start in the gut, go through the humors, which is where all the water, the ocean of the water in your body is, and start grabbing all of these toxins out of there. That's where I would start. And if you have any questions, there's an email contact. You can either email at contact at Oral Scans or at the one on the Michael Jaco site as well. Yeah, there it is. That's the Intuitive Medibody FX mixed with the oceans. So that video is down there, and I just walk you through and how to do it. Now, let me remind you, because I don't know that I don't remember talking about it in that video, but we've seen in the clinic, we've seen anywhere from 12 to 45 packs of that material to remove one single injection.
Good
Actually, I've
gosh.
had several people that had like 3 shots in one arm, and the knot is like as big as your thumb with all the meat in it as well, right under the skin. And it took 30 to 40 packs to finally remove all those toxins that just get trapped in that site, because the vaccines are like, they're just beautiful for them anyway. What an amazing delivery system, because they completely avoid all of your immune system. They just jam it into your tissue. So then the toxins that Michael was just talking about, like the graphene and the self-assembling like plasmids, the gooey toxic garbage that's delivered through the biofilm and the bacteria, um, they start assembling, and it's amazing that they know where to go, primarily the cardiopulmonary aspect of the body. Um, so we need to like start breaking that down, and most of the stuff in the store will begin to do that. So I hope that helps. And if you have any questions, just try to get a hold of us.
Yeah, great. And of course, the LifeWave, and there's also
Oh,
LifeWave
yeah, yeah.
link for Denise Love in the links as well. So Denise Love, maybe joining with her, because the LifeWave products, David Schmidt and I, the founder of and CEO and developer of LifeWave products, basically we did a show together where we showed that the blood basically clumping, probably in the early stages of becoming that white rubbery stuff that gets in the veins, and arteries and so forth. And so we talked about that, and he showed that how after using the X39, how it basically breaks it up and lets your blood start to flow normal again, and get that oxygen to you. Now I've also seen, unfortunately, Raphael, that speaking of the biofilm, when you get the shot, the biofilm starts to form, and unfortunately for some people, as they're finding out, it's actually going into the DNA and corrupting the DNA to continue to create the biofilm. So now it's like part of your whole system. Is there what? How the heck do we overcome that shit? Oh, good God!
Oh my goodness, you just opened Pandora, I know, but I'm
Yeah.
so glad you did. Can
Oh,
I
good.
can I come back to that? I'd like to touch on the life wave for a minute
Yeah, definitely.
because in so this was one of my my just big heart and like compassion because I knew this shot was like a death knell for so many
Yeah.
people. And so I handled probably 400 cases of people that were headed in that direction. And so take, hundreds of cases where I'm getting shed upon. And then as I'm removing it with the body FX, it's coming back out. So some of it's reshedding. And this was Michael, this was unbelievable. I would get symptoms every single patient, hundreds and hundreds of times. Finally, I said, no more. You guys are going to have to do it yourself at home.
Yeah.
Um, but what we did with the LifeWave patches is oftentimes during the process, we would X39 or 49 right on the shot site and then rub a little oceans either on the shot site or into the palm of the hand to help reconnect that electromagnetic communication, the electricity. Because one of the things that the toxins in the shot do is it first disrupts the whole biophoton communication, like it stops it. And so the LifeWave patches, a lot of times we would leave that on for until the shot was completely extricated with the muds and the clays out of the body. And at the same time, we're doing it internally. So then we would migrate them to X39 on cervical 7 and also at small intestine with X49. And that gave us significant testable, verifiable, like when we do the quantum forensics together with Michael, we could just see it raising the biophotonic energy of the body. And when that's raised, when the biophotons become coherent, the physicists have said that the healing capacity of the body becomes limitless. And so it's an incredible help. And even though I confess to be probably the one guy on earth that uses 2 or 3 patches a day, I've never felt any difference at all. And I strongly contend you don't have to feel it, you guys, because when I test it every single time without flaw, it's raising that biophotonic energy field of the body. Now, I think I'd be remiss if I didn't say that at the same time, in 100% of our cases, we also add the EMF harmonizer because that's also an antagonist to our biophotonic field, our physical being, and it's wanting to steal energy from the LifeWave patches. We like to pair those up together, and we have a special on that, later also. But yeah, incredibly important for the vaccines because we're stuck with it now, you guys, for probably the rest of our lives because people are still getting it. The dummies that choose the curses, they're still getting it and they're still shedding on our kids and ourselves. And it's just a nightmare of the enemy trying to bereave us of our posterity and our love.
Yeah. So Sharon is asking bioweapon in the breath. So yeah, you're exhaling it, and it's coming from your skin,
Yes.
everything. So
Yes.
Bruce Lipton, like I'm showing right here in his book, The Biology of Belief, he talks about how thoughts and beliefs can influence DNA and gene expression. So here we are, we're talking about how the bioweapon COVID-19 shot, and probably at this point they're putting it in food, as they've been telling us. So it's everywhere, dropping it from the skies.
Yes.
It's just everywhere. Probably everybody at this point has been affected by it. So you need to have it. You need to go next level. All right. So the products from the store, epigenetics, and there's another one, Heart Math Institute. So I talk about all of these in my courses. But epigenetics is the field that provides evidence that consciously chosen positive beliefs, and feelings can influence gene expression, impacting health by reducing stress and promoting the synthesis of beneficial hormones. So everything has a vibration. So you're taking in a vibrational frequency, or using vibrational frequencies, which are canceling out some of this gene expression, DNA expression from the biofilm has been inserted and has compromised your DNA. Right.
Yes.
So
Yes.
DNA can be changed with your emotions, and from which is frequency. So it can be changed with these products, and on top of that, your thought patterns. So Heart Math Institute, if you've never seen that, you definitely want to hook into that, because it's basically talking about how your heart has a energy center, love frequency, and then your brain, where your pineal gland is, in direct communication with Source, God,
Yep.
who's a very, very high source of love energy, obviously, and influencing us if you're open to it. But if you're not, you're consciously compromised. You're not going to have any, connection to any of this stuff. So intentions can cause measurable molecular changes in DNA.
Yeah.
So intentions, you know, proper food, proper, medicinal. I don't really think of your products as medicinal, but in some kind of sense they are. But they're much higher frequency than, I would say, any kind of medicine that's out there. So, how would you describe it?
Because I love the light of the body so much, it's just
Mm.
lifting that light. But in its truest form, it would be medicinal. And the term has been hijacked by the corrupt industry,
Hmm.
that they call it medicine, and it's not. And I've come to think, even Michael, as you talk about biofilms, that even all oncological diagnostics today may be one of the greatest false flag frauds in all of health history. Where is your cancer diagnosis, or even any of your diagnostics, are they actually what you're told that they are? And as you touched on the biofilm, this was the result of what Dr. Fleming said almost a century ago, when he released penicillin as the first antibiotic. And he said, you guys don't ever use it, and if you do, it will become the death of man. So in a larger capacity, this is what we're experiencing today. Part of the curses, because we didn't listen very good, and this is part of our health collapse, and part of the curses is that the development of the biofilm also in us, in a bacterial or an infectious situation, is now also combined with the injections, which have biofilm as their primary delivery. And they know, you guys, that there's nothing in medicine that can even remotely touch biofilm. And so they give you false answers like toxic superchemicals and other radioactive potions in the sorcery dimension to make us die faster, really. Um, and so, yeah, we're starting, Michael, to run from this level of evil.
Definitely. So, a lot of the injections now, pretty much all of them, probably at this point, I would,
Yeah.
as we've been saying, highly recommend you don't get anything, um, any kind of injection, really. So,
Yeah.
any kind of, or let's say you have what's that one where you get like you step on a nail and you like tetanus shot. So
Tetanus,
I've heard from people. So I was like, of course you got to get the tetanus shot, and so people that were in the know told me early on, it's like you do not need any of these shots. I
right.
was like, what? And it's like, and so a lot of people still are under assumption there are some shots you need that, and that's just part of the conditioning that we've gone through. So you have to learn how to like, move out of that because
Thank you.
it's like, I mean, there's still some basic questions that are coming up in the chat, and I'm like, I'm not even going to go there. It's like,